All right, record. We're recording. Cool. All right. So hey everybody. So in my videos, I typically talk about the spirituality and stuff, but I did make a video about intuition, and that was actually inspired by one of Nia's comments, who was our guest here today. Say hi to everybody, Nia.
Hi.
Cool. Nia was actually my first subscriber, like on YouTube, when I was like super nervous that no one would listen to me, type of stuff. Like she was like the first one there to say subscribe, and then she started coming in on my videos, like just feeling support. I was like, okay, I'm making progress. And that literally that first subscriber, Nia, like you being the first subscriber, like really motivated me to say, okay, so someone in the world is gonna listen. So all right, let's keep on going. So that's really cool. And so in this video, we're going to talk about intuition. And once again, as I just said, she inspired my first video about it. And we both, it's been a while since that video, and we both learned new things here and there. So Nia, what would you define intuition as being in your own life?
Okay, so for me, intuition is basically when you have this inner knowing that you can feel it at different places, but you usually feel it in your heart. I think, based on my experience, you feel something in your heart telling you and nudging you to go a certain way. Honestly, my intuition, I have to work a lot with it. I know a lot of people, they're just born very intuitive, and for me that was not the case at all. And how I basically or how I am practicing to strengthen my intuition right now is basically I would just go in a deep meditation and try and identify what that intuition or what that intuitive nudge really is. And for me, it's basically, as I said, a knowing. So for example, you would ask yourself a question, and something or someone, I don't know, would just nudge you and be like, plan A, and that's it. There's no back and forth, there's no conversation, there's no emotions involved, nothing. It's just do this. And it's up to you to decide whether or not you want to debate with that knowing or follow that knowing. That's what
Yeah, got you. Yeah, because you definitely have to learn to work with it, definitely. And a lot of people, I feel personally that it was something that we started with, but then society, like we're all very comfortable in our homes. Like for those of us that are fortunate to have homes, electricity, that type of stuff, we're very comfortable. So it's like when it comes to our intuition and like thinking about our safety 24/7, I feel like it kind of gets dumbed down. Like I really want, and it's actually like before we met up, I was thinking like intuition was kind of like the angel and the devil on your shoulder, where the devil is kind of like your ego and the angel on your shoulder is kind of like the intuition, because the ego wants to keep you safe. So like anything you want to do something different, the devil on your shoulder is like, okay, maybe you shouldn't do that because blah blah blah. But it's like, but the angel's on your shoulder, your intuition is the part that's like, hey, but look at all the great things that can happen from it. And, but so you have to go with that fight. So like, it really made a lot of sense when you said that you have to work with it, and you have to develop that in yourself. So like, what was an example of when you ignored your intuition, and what was an example of when like you listened to it and things actually worked out a lot better than you thought it was going to work?
So this actually, sorry, I was cold in my chest.
You're fine.
So this happened to me last week while working, I am a sales rep. So while driving, I passed this business place, and while passing it, I'm like, visit there. But then I'm like, I don't want to. It's a small business place. I'm probably not gonna get an order. I'm just gonna waste my time. So I continued driving, and I had Waze, which is like a GPS. It's like Google Maps. And I had it, and it was taking me into a certain area. And then all of a sudden, the GPS took me into another direction. It actually took me to the opposite direction, and it did not interfere with it at all. It just automatically, I don't know how, changed to the opposite direction. So I'm like, oh great. Sat down in all this traffic, and the damn GPS was taking me somewhere else. So I had to turn back around in traffic, and I continued driving, and I was coming up to the same business place. And then all of a sudden, as soon as I'm in front of this business place, the GPS told me, "You're going in the wrong direction, make a U-turn."
Right, right.
Are you kidding me? So I'm
Mhm.
like, you know what? I'm already here. Let me just go in the business, see what's going on. Maybe this is a sign, because I see everything as a sign.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm like, I told myself, you know what? If this person doesn't even make an order, I'll be so angry. Like, I came in all this traffic and da da da. So I went into this business place, and they gave me one of the biggest orders I have ever had working
Nice.
as a sales rep. And I'm like, wow, if only I'd listened to that little nudge that I got that told me to go there. Instead of debating with it, I should have listened to it, and I would have all of the waiting and turning around and this and that, all of the different alterations to my day would have been prevented if I had just gone to that one, if I had just listened to that inner nudge saying to go to that business place. So yeah, that was really interesting.
Yeah, that's dope because life was saying, "Hey, go there," and you just go and keep on going, but said, "Nope, nope, go back." So like, I think that's a really good example, like the both the conscious and unconscious, just knowing and feeling that. That's really cool. It's like I had like I wish I had something like that. I wish I had like a really big moment like that. I think mine was like in my video I talked about how I saw an aura for the first time. And mine, it was kind of, it's very similar. Like where at first it was just like, all right, don't want to talk to you because like I'm an introverted type of person, as people may not believe when I talk on camera or answer people's questions and stuff. But like when it comes to like my personal life, I kind of stay to myself, you know. And then when I'm out meditating, I want to do my own thing. But you know, this like drunk old man comes up to me, like older man, like probably like in his 40s or something, like comes up to me and like he just kind of stumbling around me, talking to me. I'm just like, everything in my power wants to just walk away from this dude. Everything does, but like it was just like, yo, just sit here for a second. Just sit here. I was like, all right, what's the worst he can do? He's drunk. I can push him over if he tries to hit me or try to steal something. So whatever, let's go. And then like the more I listened to talk to him, like he was just telling me about all this crazy stuff about kung fu. He was telling me about like piezoelectrics in the body. He was telling me about all this crazy stuff, and then like how to like make, because I jump rope when I work out. So like he was telling me like different ways to like make your jump rope better. And then what I was able to also notice was how the more him and I were talking, it was kind of like, you know, it was like I was seeing like a light up around him, like the aura that I was able to see. And I was like, whoa, like it's like, of course I can't say, hey bro, I see your aura, and like that would have made sense because it really wouldn't have. But like in my head I was like, this is why I didn't walk away from this dude. Okay, so yeah, that's really cool. Was there ever a time that you ignored it and like in
Oh,
things that didn't work out the well?
my
Mm.
whole life, I said, like, I'm just not a very intuitive person, so I'm still practicing on working with my intuition. These days I have gotten a lot better with it,
Mhm.
and I know how to identify it, which is nice. um but yeah, I can't like pinpoint any specific time where something went like terribly wrong, actually.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's like, and it's like I was hoping like you would have more stories because I had to think of one real quick, but there was one, and it's kind of like it was actually like, but weirdly enough, it's kind of like the kind that even though it was bad, it still helped. And it was kind of like the story where it's like, and I've alluded to it in some of my other videos, but it's like the time I almost got jumped at school. Well, yeah, I almost got jumped because that wouldn't have. Anyway, I don't want to go back there. But anyway, so it was like I was walking up to my friend's place, and like I saw these dudes, and it was like in the moment, like when I was walking up the sidewalk, and I saw them from like, you know, like a good ways away, but somehow I knew that something was about to happen. You know, I knew something was about to happen, and I was like, I could just go that way, but this is my route. Like I was very like I was almost like militaristic in my head when I was at school. Like I go here, and that's the shortest route. That's how I went. So I was like, I'm gonna do this. But then like I was like, I need to avoid these dudes. But I said, man, they ain't gonna do nothing. They're not gonna bother me. Well, it's like then they like stopped being like they had like their racial slurs and stuff. And then eventually they were about to get to a point where I could tell that they were about to attack me. And then that was like the first time I ever drew my knife on somebody, like because like it was like a weird part of my energy where I was like, yo, I'm don't mess with you. Leave me alone because I'm not here. Like I'm not in the same place. You know, my friends called me Oliver there. Like it's like my alter ego. You know, so it's like I was like I seem light and bubbly right now, but like at school, like all my friends could attest. I was not this happy all the time. Like my friends made me happy, but everyone outside of that, mm-mm. So like when they came up to me, like I was able to read the body language and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, things are about to go down. And they like both stepped at me, and I had to draw the knife out on them, and I was like it almost got really bad. But I was like, you know what? Get out of here. Just go. Just go. Just go. You know. But if I paid attention to my intuition, I will just simply walk a little bit longer, and they will walk past, and we will have been fine. You know. So yeah, so there's definitely things in life where we always get that inner knowing. You could some people call it the guidance from above, some people call it the like inside of you. I think there's a mixture of both. It's like so I guess like pretty much you talked about how like you're still working with it. Like so how is it that how are you working with it right now and trying to develop that skill?
So I right now the best way for me to really get some sort of insight, some answers, whatever, with regards to my intuition is via meditation. So every night or morning, depending on how tired I am in the morning or the night, I would put on some meditative music. I would put on alpha and theta waves with binaural beats because that
Hmm.
helps me get like a meditative state, a trance, whatever you want to call it. And then, but before I start, I would ask myself one question or a couple questions, not too many questions, just like the
Hmm.
most pressing things I need answers for. So I would ask these questions, and because I'm a Christian, I would ask God, God, I'm giving you this time to communicate with me. Please give me some answers. And yeah, I would ask that, go in my meditative state, and then usually I would receive my answer then and there. However, sometimes it may take like a couple of days, a couple of weeks, might take even longer.
Hmm.
So that is just how I'm trying to work with it. And the
Hmm.
way I receive those answers, it can be a lot of different ways. So it can be that voice in my head. It can be a billboard, a YouTube video that popped up. It can just come in so many different ways. So that is just how I'm learning to strengthen it. That's the first step. And then once I master that, then I know I will go on to like other more advanced steps.
Nice. Yeah, like I like that you brought up the meditation because like for me it's like I meditate like when I wake up, especially when I'm off, I have a nice long meditation. It just feels good. I almost go to sleep. And then
Yeah.
like and then like always before bed because it it just like puts you in like a better state of mind, more calm, more peaceful. I'm not sure if it's a kind of like very open-ended question, but like, you know, what is it that you feel like afterwards, like after your conversation in the meditative state? Like, what is it like? Let's just say, for example, like if you didn't get the answer, like, are you the type that's always looking for the answer? Like, where is it? Or is it just like come to you or a mixture of both?
Well, that's funny because before I got into like spirituality and stuff like that, and I only got into this, like really got into this in like probably May. So from May till now, not even May, probably. Okay, so mm, when can I say I really got into this? Probably like August, when I finished reading Letting Go by David Hawkins. Before then, I always tried finding answers, and if I didn't get the answer, I'd be like super anxious, and I would just worry a lot about everything. And since reading that book, it has helped me to realize that I need to accept things as they are, and everything happens to a reason. And if I
Mhm.
don't get that answer right now, which is not the time to get that answer, and I will get it in divine timing. So now, as I said, around like August, from August till now, I'm I'm zen. I'm cool with not having the answer. So once I finish a meditation and I don't get that answer, I know that in divine timing, I'll get that answer. And right now, it's just not the time for me to get it now. And if I rush to find that answer, it's just going to backfire on me.
Cool. Yeah, I'm happy you said that because It's like I like to talk about, it's like one of the examples I gave when it came to manifestation, and like, manifesting whatever it is that we want, or with the just answers. Like you seem like you try to want a lot. It's like a lot of people get attached to things, and like I give like the what's the word, analogy, metaphor, whatever one, the comparison, if you will, like where when you're attached to something like Velcro and you try to tear away from it, there's like a lot more damage that happens. So when things are attached and you want that manifestation is trying to get away from you, and then
Yeah.
you're connected and you're matching to it, it just comes into your life real easy. So like with you saying that, you just, hey, if it's not here right now, it will be eventually. So it's just that easily letting it go and just letting it come into your life. That's a really good way to look at it. So you were talking about how like we kind of like we're starting to go off intuition, but I think it's all linked. But like you were talking about like, like since May or whenever that you started your spiritual track, like is there anything particular that got you started on the spiritual track? Did you like see something, hear something, or was it just like a inner knowing that you wanted to keep on going with it?
Okay, so in April, I went through a breakup and it was very traumatic because I actually moved to London. I'm from Trinidad, to his subscribers that don't know. um, that's where the accent is from. But I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, but Trinidad, the island Trinidad. The country is Trinidad and Tobago, just some history facts. And I moved to London to be with him, and it was a very, very toxic relationship, but we were just so attached to each other that it was hard to let go. And when I came back to Trinidad, it was hard for me, obviously, because when I moved to London, I basically gave up my whole life for this guy. I gave up my dream job. I destroyed the relationships with my friends and my family, especially because they weren't in agreement with the relationship.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, just a lot I gave up for this guy. And to come back home, I was in a lot of debt. I had to rebuild my relationships. I had to find a job. It was in the middle of a pandemic, so there was just like a lot going on. Um, and because we were in the middle of a pandemic and lockdown and everything, I couldn't distract myself. So I couldn't go to the movies. I couldn't go out for lunch. I couldn't do anything. I was forced to be in isolation by myself and face my feelings.
Ooh, that's
Um,
rough.
yeah. So that happened around April. So it was back in Trinidad, didn't really have a lot to do. So I was at home all day, had no money to do anything either. Um, and then I saw a video popped up. I can't remember exactly what that video was on YouTube, but it was strange because I never really went into that. But like I didn't know anything about spirituality. I didn't know anything about manifesting, like nothing like that. And yeah, that's that dark night of the soul. Basically, when that began is when I started to really research into that kind of stuff and realize that this is normal and how to deal with it. And then I started reading self-help books, and yeah, things just went on from there.
Nice.
I
Yeah,
hope that
it's always.
I know I went a bit like all over
Oh
the
no,
place.
you're good. I was following. No, no, because like I was really following it because it's a very similar story. Like my start was from, the breakup, that I was just trying to figure out anything to make it work for me. And once again, it was the person that I was attached to, because for me, she was like my first girlfriend, like ever. Like my first relationship I started when I was 18. I didn't have the middle school, the high school crushes, none of that. So like my first relationship and breakup was all in adulthood. So like that was like a rough part. But like after college, like we broke up and type of stuff, and I just couldn't fathom it yet. I was like, yo, like what's up, and of course after you learn, it's like she had her own stuff going on, but regardless. But like in the meantime, like of me feeling all bad and pitiful, like I was just trying to figure out any way to better myself, to come present myself. I was like, okay, look, I'm good now, see, like this, you gotta learn. I know like every man beating his chest, and like people that watch the secret retention videos about like, look at this guy, come on. I said, hey, we had to learn, people. But anyway, but yeah, like so like I had like those dark nights and whatever too. And like I started just looking up things, and like I remember one day, like just like you, like I stumbled on a video that just it's like what some people call the weird side of YouTube, if you will. Like it's just like people claiming to be angels and like like psychics and mediums, all that type of stuff. And I can remember her face. I can't remember the video or anything like that, but she was talking about angel numbers and all that type of stuff, because at that time, in that period, like I was learning a lot about, like I was seeing like 9/11, 11/11 on clocks, all that type of stuff. So it started to be like, okay, synchronicity, this thing called synchronicity happens when something in your life is about to happen. Okay, cool, I'm gonna put this together. But then it was like the biggest one that really got me into it was like my move from North Carolina to Denver. Like after I was like, I need to get away from this girl, away from this situation, because I made the move for love too. Like I don't recommend anyone do that. If you broke up with someone, especially, don't try to get closer. You know what I mean? So we all had to learn. But like but yeah, but when I was in the process of moving and I put my all of my energy and intention on moving to Denver, like I started hearing Denver everywhere because I traveled a lot for work too. So like I was never in my apartment. I was living out of hotels pretty much. And every time you walk up to the lobby, I look up and be like, oh, the Denver Nuggets are doing this. Oh, the Denver Rockies. Oh, the Denver Mountains or the Rocky Mountains in Denver, near Denver, and blah, blah, blah. All this type of stuff. Everything was Denver, Denver, Denver. We'd be sitting in the middle of a forest. And like we're like, I used to do like water sampling. So we'd just be in the forest, just sitting there collecting water. And like he would be like, yeah, so I was like flying over Denver the other day and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what is going on? I'm seeing all these numbers. Everyone's talking about Denver, 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 Denver. I keep seeing 11, 11, 5, 5, 5, 7, 7, 7 everywhere. I'm like, what is this? And that was pretty much like what got me into starting to look into it. So like it seems like that heartbreak is the best medicine for spirituality, man. Like I don't know, there's something to it. That's
Yeah,
cool though.
I think like, well, for me, I believe in God. I think like God sometimes has to put you through certain things because that's the only thing that will be traumatic enough for you to wake the F up.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like interesting you say that too. Like just the dreams recently. Like I think about dreams a lot, and recently I've been having a lot of dreams. But it's like sometimes you could definitely tell, like at least for me, like I could tell that that wasn't me, that was like a past life, and I could tell like I'm literally just experiencing it, but it's putting people in my life, like in my current life, as the characters in the movie, the dream world, if you will. Because if you see it now, I'd be like, who are those people? It wouldn't mean that much to you. But if it's like, okay, if it's like your little cousin and your brother in the car and then something crazy happened, it's like, oh my God. And then it's like it like strikes your soul in a different way. So like, you know, like you said, like God will just put those things in front of you because, you know, and like it's we both believe in God. I think we believe in a different way, but still, like we both believe in that higher power that helps us, guides us, does all that type of stuff. And that's where most people just need to high five, shake hands, and walk away. But like you know, like it's just really cool that it's like they say like God won't put anything in front of you that you can't handle and that type of stuff. A lot of people, it's like you have to also ask yourself in that situation. It's kind of like bringing it full circle back to that intuition. It's like, you know, if especially if you believe that, because you and I, we go through this, like we'd be like, you know what, all right, I can clearly handle this. It wouldn't be here if I couldn't handle this. A lot of people, that's when they ignore that intuition, when they're like, oh my God, this is so hard, I can't do this, I can't, blah blah blah. It's like, who's telling you that? God didn't even say that to you. You said that to yourself. You know. Exactly. So yeah, that was really good. That's about it for me. Did you have anything you wanted to talk about, or any questions, concerns, or anything like that?
Well, I know you said you started talking about dreams.
Mhm.
For me, when I first started going through my dark night of the soul, before it really hit me, I had nightmares like for a month straight. Like every night I
Mhm.
had nightmares and I would just be terrified to sleep. Did that ever happen to you?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Um, it's like that's taking me back. Yeah, definitely, because like I haven't had a nightmare in so long. So like definitely, there I would have like, you know, there'd be like some nightmares where it's just like, you know, it's just something crazy happened. But there were two that always stood out to me, that they were like, it was always different scenes, but the same thing was happening, and it was either like like that falling feeling. Like that falling, or I guess it's three, like the falling, and you're just always like in the elevator, and you're just like, or something like that, or it was like the punching, like I'm in a fight or somebody, and like my moves are in slow motion. Like I'm like, why is this little dude beating me up right now? I don't get this. Like, and it's like it would be so frustrating, you know. And like when I looked that one up, it's just like the feeling of being out of control. You know, like being out of control of your life, like in the elevator. What can you do when that thing's falling? You can't do anything. You know, when you're punching, you're going in slow motion. You're like, why can't I hit this dude while I'm keep getting beat up? He's moving at regular speed. I'm moving at like half speed. I don't get this. And then the other one was backflips. Weirdly enough, I'd always be doing flips in my dreams, and I'd be like it was like it seems kind of cool because I can't do a backflip in real life, so that'd be kind of dope. But like it, and once again, that intuition where I'm like, but something feels weird about those backflips. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a good thing. It almost seems like it almost seemed like hiccups in a way, like they just like happen. Like I'd be in the dream, la la la, backflip, la la la, backflip. I'm like, so like when I look that one up, it's kind of like literally like it's almost like bending over backwards kind of for like people that don't deserve your time and stuff like that. I was like, why did that have to, like, it's almost like when you look up something, you don't want it to make sense. But I'm like, you're
Yeah.
like, dang, why did that exactly explain how I feel right now? Like, and like what's going on in my life. So yeah, definitely like that. But and we talked about like, the meditation and stuff, like when I wake up and before bed. So it's kind of like all that frequency and vibration stuff. We're having the nightmares because we're energetic match to that. We go to bed stressed out. We go to bed
Yeah.
angry, powerless, all that type of stuff. And that brings in those thoughts and those thought forms or entities, whatever word you choose to use there. That's what like influences that nightmare. And then when you like go to bed calm, you go to bed happy, all that type of stuff, and just feeling hopeful for the future, then you have the good dreams. So that's just how I've been seeing dreams recently.
Oh, that's really interesting. I wish I knew more about dreams. I started
Mhm.
recording my dreams for like 5 days and I just forgot to record them.
Mhm.
Um, but I wish I knew like more about dreams. I find that like interpreting dreams and stuff, I find that very interesting.
Yeah, it's like it really is too, because it's like how I tried to explain manifestation in past videos and stuff. It's kind of like things are coming from the dream world, the fourth dimension, whatever. Once again, whatever words you want to use there, and then they crystallize into your world. So
Yeah.
like when you go to the dream world, you're literally there. So it's like it can work both ways, up and down. Like some people say it's only fourth down, and that's how I typically explain it, but I also know that your thoughts here can influence that too, like as above so below, and that type of
Mhm.
stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, dreams are really cool, and what people need to also remember is, like, especially when you tell someone else your dreams, it never makes sense. Like they'd be like, so you were walking and then a platypus, I don't know why I was talking about platypus, it's just so random, but like a platypus came out of nowhere, and then by the way, I'm flying in a space engine, and then like Hercules came out of nowhere. It's like, wait, what? Like it's like that. Like you can't explain it to anybody, but you need to, like, for you to sit there and like go into your own dreams, like, because dreams are what's the word? Egocentric. Like all dreams are for you. So like when you're there, you have to be like, okay, so let's see, I'm in space. That means I'm in an open place, and then Hercules came, so I'm supposed to be a heroic while I'm in the void. Like you have to put it together in your own way. You know, so like that's just advice for people that just don't know too much about dreams. They've been having crazy stuff happen. It's like you have to look at it from a metaphorical level. Sometimes they're literal, but most of the time, like it's like mainly got to be metaphorical and say, okay, what did that mean? What does that mean to me? You know. So that's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Cool.
And
So anything else?
sorry, one more thing. Also, back to auras. I know you said
Mhm.
you can, well, you saw an aura. Do you think you well, I know you can still, well, I know if you practice to see it, you can see it, but can
Mhm.
you see it like on a whim? Can you just be like, oh, let me see what this aura is? Or do you have to like be in the frame of mind?
It's like I feel like I can see them. I feel like most people can. It's just they just don't know what they're looking for.
Oh,
I truly don't even think you need to be super spiritual to see them. Like, because I can see them in a very vagueness. Like the one, like when I saw like the drunk guy, like I can't see them that clearly. I want to, that'd be dope. But I usually just see like a light around people, like a very like kind of dim light. And then like the more we talk, like I see it like kind of expand. But a lot of people, they can say like they see shapes, they can see colors, they can see all that type of stuff. I'm like, that'll be useful. I would like to know how to do that. But right now it's just kind of like I can see an outline, and it's like, and weirdly enough, like how you said, like I'm working on it too, because like it's one of those things like I forget to practice. Like I'd be like, I want to see this, but I'm gonna go do this other thing for a while, and then like, and I'm like, oh yeah, that aura thing, that's important. But what about that? Like I'm literally like a dog when it's like sees a squirrel. I'm like, what's that thing? And then just go for it. But yeah, like have you had any aura experiences yourself?
no, but I wish I can. I just haven't really like got into it, but I like that reminded me like I should probably try to do that because I find that super interesting and I want to know what my aura looks like what my color
Hmm.
is.
Yeah, like I feel like it would be like especially useful when like you're just trying to read people. You know,
Yeah,
like it's like someone just comes up to you. There's like a game, it's called Assassin's Creed, where like you just go, it's called Eagle Vision, and you can just like see a dude, like a bad guy, he's red, and you see a good guy, he's blue. You see someone that's
yeah,
important, that he's gold. So I'm like, that would be so useful, or at the very least, you could just tell like someone's emotional state right now. You're like, oh,
yeah.
that person's sad, this person's happy, this person's optimistic, this one's pessimistic. You could see all that type of stuff. So that'd be really useful, and like hopefully we both get there. That'd be dope. Cool. So yeah, so like I think we can wrap it up here. It's been pretty good, nice little conversation. Like I'm feeling like I'm buzzing now because it's like one of the things that Nia and I like to talk about that we discussed before recording is like it's nice talking to other spiritual people about spiritual stuff, even if it's not even their domain. Like we can both, you know, learn something. It's like, I could talk about this stuff with you and I'm not weird. Yes. So that's really cool. But once again, Nia, thank you very much. Thank you for being my first subscriber. Thank you for being my first collaboration, like a whole bunch of firsts with us. So like it's really good. If you guys want some manifestation tips, if you want, didn't you have like some binaural beats or some type of music like that? Didn't you have like a video
What?
like that? Didn't you have like a theta wave video or something that you made,
Oh
like to
yeah,
like help you get to that state?
wasn't stuff.
Yeah, so if you want to get into that type of stuff, please go check out Nia. She's awesome, bubbly. She's gonna raise your vibration and make you feel good about yourself. You got anything you want to say to the people, Nia?
Well, no, just thank you for having me on your channel. I appreciate it. I'm really grateful. And yeah, subscribe to him, guys. Do it. He has great content.
Cool. All righty. Well, thanks, guys. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And until the next one, we'll see you later.
Bye.